Hisham Timazlan, and my message number is 15UB90F1030. So this morning, my group will be presenting our video presentation about our journal, which is named Industrialized Building System IBS, revisiting issues of definition and classification. So this journal or article was made in January 2011. There are actually 4 authors. So the first one is Kamarul Anwar Muhammad Kamar, Zuhairi Abdul Hamid, Muhammad Nur Azhari Azman, and Muhammad Sanusi S. Ahmad. So as you can see on the screen right now, we have 3 proposals of the literature. So the first one is to revisit current definition and classification on IBS. Next is to review other terms used to describe IBS. And the last one is to provide clear understanding on IBS etymology and classification for practitioners and policymakers. Okay, so the next one is introduction. Okay. Industrialized Building System IBS is a term to represent those terminologies in nation construction industry. The IBS term is widely used by the practitioners, researchers, and government in this country to represent the industrialization in construction. Current definition by CIDB include low-tech solution and other practices which already become common and not substituting conventional practices. IBS can be interpreted as an approach or process used in making construction less labor-oriented and faster as well as fulfilling quality concern. Okay, the next one is the broader view of IBS is about the changing of conventional mindset, re-engineering of human capital development, developing better cooperation and trust, promoting transparency and integrity. Okay, so the next one is definition of industrialization. Industrialization, it is an industrial method employed with reference to mechanization, standardization, and prefabrication. Industrialization is also a part of a wider modernization process through the development of modern methods of production and technology system. Production operations are mechanized and are focused on mass production and manufacturing production, where work is centrally organized. And investment in equipment, facilities and technologies by the objective of maximizing production output, improving quality, and minimizing labor resources. Okay, so the next one is definition of industrial construction. It is linked with industrialization with the use of mechanical powers and tools, the use of computerized steering system and tools production in continuous process, continuous improvement of efficiency, standardization of products, prefabrication, rationalization, modularization, and mass production. Okay, so the last one is definition of building system. Building system is a set of interconnected elements that join together to enable the designated performance of buildings, and as a set of interrelated elements that together to enable designated performance of a building. So that's all. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Nur Atika binti Darwis, matrix number 15UB19F1039. Existing definition on IBS. The paper revisits the definition of IBS from 20 literature of local and international researchers from 1971 to 2009. The term IBS is ill-defined, often interchangeably with other terms like offsite and prefabrication, and their precise definitions depend heavily on users' experience and understanding. The term IBS is defined as an innovative process of building construction. Abdullah and Ekbu define IBS as a method of construction developed with the human investment in innovation and on rethinking the best way of construction work delivers based on the level of industrialization. Hashim define IBS as an organizational process continuity of production implying a steady flow of demand, standardization, integration of the whole production process, a high degree of organization of work, mechanization to replace human labor. Chung defined IBS as a mass production of building components, either in a factory or at site, with dimensions, standard shape, and transport to the construction site to be rearranged with certain standards to form a building. But Hamid, Hong, and CIDB neglect the mass production concept. MIGHT disagree with the definition of Chung regarding the on-site fabrication, while Hong and CIDB have the similarity in definition, but the CIDB adopt the concept of structure planning and standardization. Rahman and Omar define IBS as a construction system using prefabricated components. Lacey define IBS as an integrated manufacturing and construction process with well-planned organization structure for efficient management, preparation, and control over resources use activities and results supported by the use of highly developed components. In the Malaysia context, Construction Industry Development Board (CIDB) define IBS as a construction technique in which components are manufactured in a controlled environment, on or off-site, transported, positioned, and installed into a structure with minimal additional site work. Badir defined IBS as a concept of mass production of quality building by using new building system and factory-produced building components. Farid defined IBS as a system which uses industrialized production method either in the production of components or assembly of the building or both. Shrika defined IBS as a system in which concrete components are manufactured at site or in a factory assembly to form the structure with minimum in-situ construction. Issa and Nuruddin defined IBS as a continuum beginning from utilizing craftsmen for every aspect of construction to a system that makes use of manufacturing production in order to minimize resource wastage and enhance value and users. Dietz 1971 defined IBS as a total integration of all subsystems and components into overall process, fully utilizing industrialized production, transportation, and assembly methods. Improved by Junaid, adding the structure planning and standardization. The system includes balanced combination between software and hardware components. The software element includes system design, which is a complex process of studying the requirement of the end user, the development of standardized component, and market analysis.
Hello, my name is Naushada Atika binti Saka and my metric number is 15DUB19F1032. Actually, I want to talk about characterize of IBS. Characterize of IBS have 9 types. Firstly, method, approach, and process. Second, industrialized production. Third, transportation and assemble technique. Next, product, system, and technology. mass production, on-site fabric, standardization and structural planning, process ingredient.
Hi and Assalamualaikum to Puan Ashikin and to all my beloved classmates. My name is Nuraimuyatul Muhammad Bakri, matrix number 15DUB19F100C. Today, in this presentation, we are going to discuss the term used to describe IBS, Industrial Building System. Firstly, many different terms are used to describe industrialized construction and prefabrication. Pre-assembly, prefabrication, modern method of construction (MMC), offsite manufacturing (OSM), offsite production (OSP), and offsite construction (OSC) are terms in common use at various times in the literature. The IBS terms is used interchangeable with other terms like offsite construction, prefabrication, offsite manufacturing, modern method of construction (MSC), industrialized building, and industrialized construction. Thus, concepts are often used interchangeably when describing the characteristic of industrialized construction. Provide an approach to distinguish the many terminology. This generates 4 categories of terms. Thus, terminology refers a which range of contextual issues which associate with the definition. Nonetheless, the previous research has explored the relationship between these terminology. This generates 4 categories of terms: OS, PRE, MM, and building. What is OS, PRE, MM, and building? This category reflects the historical evolution of the concept. Next, IBS classification. Industrial building systems are various different classifications which is based on material, process, and system. This table shows the classification of IBS. Comparison of industrialized construction classification. The first classification of masjid building system classification. Their subcategory are panel system, box system, and frame system, authored by masjid. Next classifications, industrialized system classifications by Razali Bardes. Subcategories, conventional building system, and just in situ formwork system, authored by Bardes. And next classification, Warzazuki building system. Subcategories, timber, steel, cast in situ concrete, precast concrete, other Warzazuki. The next classification are IBS classification CIDB. Subcategories, precast concrete ceramics, panel and box system, authored by Sha'ari and Ismail. Then the next IBS classification UTM. Their subcategory, precast concrete frame building, precast concrete wall system, authored by Rahmah and Omar. The second last classification, modern method of construction (MMC). Subcategory are volumetric, panelist, hybrids, sub-assemblies, and components, authored by Kip and Pendit by. And the last one, classification offsite manufacturing (OSM). Their subcategory, volumetric system, panelized system, hybrid system, sub-assemblies, and component system, authored by Abu Said. For further exploration of and discussion between researchers in the fields, a generic classification for IBS can be derived as the following. The first one, frame system, precast or steel. Next, panelized system, on-site fabrication, sub-assembly and components, blockwork system, hybrid system, and the last one, volumetric and modular system. The classification is based on current CIDB IBS classification, which is well known in Malaysia, with an important addition of hybrids and volumetric modular system. The papers suggest the inclusion of hybrid and modular system into IBS classification. Both are essential systems in MMC classification. On-site fabrication term is used to replace steel formwork system. There is a move away from the prefabrication image of formwork system at site. The precast concrete framing, prefabricate timber framing system and steel framing system is combined under the term frame system for simplicity reason. This term is also used in MMC classification. That's all from me. Thank you.
And also I want to talk about a product, process and system. IBS is necessarily restricting its scope to the final product, which is a system but involved the process which led to the production of the system construction application. The answer is a product, process and system is heavily. The answer IBS is a product, process and system is heavily depend on its contents and unit analysis of the observed. IBS have two categories: IBS as method, approach and process, IBS as a product, system and technology. Majority scholarship depend IBS as a method, approach and system. Define IBS as product, system and technology is its research in Warswati and Sargent. IBS can be product, process and system based on the research contents and also
IBS as innovation in construction. One could argue that IBS and innovation are two similar concepts as mentioned in Pence. Pence argued that one can adopt industrialized construction as similar as one should treat an innovation. It has been widely accepted that newness is one of the basic elements of innovation. Rogers defined innovation as an idea, practice, or object that is perceived as new by an individual or other unit of adoption. Igbo and Young as the successful introduction, application, and exploitation within a role, group, or organization of ideas. Penn argued in his thesis that IBS and innovation is two concepts. Both can be interpreted as product and processes, new to the unit of adoption and involve risk in its process of adoption. Similarly, both has no absolute guarantee to be successful or desirable. The adoption of IBS as mentioned on CIB should relate to the accumulation of knowledge and technologies.
Hi, Assalamualaikum. My name is Nurul Ain binti Muhammad Safwan. Matrix number 15 DUB 19F1035. Now, I will explain about a working definition for IBS. IBS is an innovative process of building construction that produced at the factory and on-site within controlled environment. It means that those parts of building that are repetitive but difficult, time-consuming, labor-intense to cause at site are designed and detailed as standardized components at factory. Also emphasize on coordination between design, manufacturing, and construction. Innovative and clean mold technologies such as steel, aluminium, and plastic is using by on-site casting because IBS is involved for the building construction. So, the conclusion is industrial building system or known as IBS is represent the prefabrication, and industrialized construction concept in Malaysia, which it should be seen as the innovation in the construction. Catering the scope of volumetric, or known as modular and hybrid construction, should be expanded in the classification of IBS. It's important to ensure that the construction industry will obtain the best usage for the both system, which is traditional and IBS. The industrialization from the fabrication need to change it to reproduction through innovation, which is IBS. That's all from us. Thank you.
Don't forget to subscribe my YouTube channel. Thank you.